Hello again and welcome to our channel. Thank you for joining us. Today it's actually a bright sunny day and so we're going to be outside. We're doing some work outside in the garden. You're joining us for the start of a new project. We're going to try to make ourselves a special flower bed exclusively for summer and autumn bulbs. In our garden we've got a lot of flower beds and borders in which we grow perennial and annual plants. We don't have many bulbs, and we thought it would be very nice to start a new bed especially for bulbs, for summer and autumn flowering bulbs, corms and tubers. Once upon a time we had a little bed here, a very small flower bed. What we're going to do is we're going to extend that bed now to make a much larger bed in which we are going to put our bulbs. The first thing that we did was we put a circle around the outside to show where we're going to form our bed. The way that we did it was we put a stake in the middle, we attached a string and we put an old screwdriver there, and we just went around the outside keeping the string tight, keeping it taut, just marking where our circle is going to be. So that was the first stage, going around there, marking out the circle. This is quite a good old-fashioned way of doing it. Once we'd done that, we then went around with the spade, just digging down in, marking the circle that we are going to make. We then started to divide the turf up into sections, and we dug down and got the turf off and put it into piles here. You can see that we've done our outer circle already. What we're going to do now is we're going to get the turf up from the inner circle. Okay. So we're just removing the turf, we're putting it into piles ready to be used again for another purpose. So we're just clearing this turf off. I've loosened it already to make it easier. Just taking the old turf off to expose the soil underneath. Okay, so we'll go all the way around doing that same sort of thing, and then we're actually going to dig over the soil. So we're going to be loosening up the soil. And you can see already from what I'm doing how very heavy our soil is. We have great big pieces of marl like this in our soil. Where we are here, years and years ago, probably over 100 years ago, it was a marl pit. Marl was actually taken, extracted from here, and it was put onto the local roads before the time of tarmac. So this is not good. It actually helps to show why we grow all our vegetables in raised beds, because our soil is actually quite poor. Anyway, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to loosen it all up, and then eventually we're going to have to incorporate lots of garden compost, maybe bring in some good topsoil as well. But that's the way that we're going to be doing it, and then eventually, as I said, we're going to be planting a lovely selection of bulbs. The things that we're thinking about include lilies, gladioli, Crocosmia, Dahlias, all sorts of bulbs like that, and hopefully we'll have a beautiful display here in the summer and in the autumn. You'll rejoin us in a few minutes when we've made a little bit more progress. now that we've actually finished removing the turf and digging over the soil. You can actually now see the outline of the bed much more clearly. You can see where this bed is going to be, where we're going to be having our summer and our autumn bulbs. When I remove the turf, the quality of the soil underneath is shockingly bad, I'm afraid. Full of great big lumps of marl, extremely heavy. You can see from my boots just what it's like. How I've been working here, what I've got on my boots. It sticks, it's absolutely horrible. So obviously before planting any bulbs, we're going to have to incorporate a lot of well-rotted garden compost, maybe lots of other things as well, some topsoil that we bring in, all sorts of things. We do need to improve this a great deal. You can actually see a tremendous contrast between the colour of the soil in the middle there and around the outside. The darker, better soil in the middle is where there was a little bed some time ago. But here, this is where the turf has been removed, and underneath it's not very nice at all. We're going to have to do an awful lot of work to it. Anyway, I'm really pleased with the progress that we've made. You can see now that it's starting to look like a bed where we can plant some flowers. You'll rejoin us in due course when we've made a little bit more progress. But that's how we stand at the moment. Hope you've enjoyed it. I will now go and clean my muddy boots and have a lie down, I think. Thank you. Now, after 2 or 3 hours of hard graft, you can see that the bed is complete. We've brought in some topsoil, some well-rotted garden compost. We've mixed it in with what was there before. Now we've got a very pleasant bed ready for planting. So this is going to be our bed in which we're going to put lots of lovely summer bulbs. And later on in the year you'll be able to see the display that we're able to produce. That involved quite a lot of hard graft to get it from the state you saw before to the finished state now. It was particularly difficult because of the state of our soil. Down in the soil, just below the surface, was this. This is not very nice. It's very difficult. Okay, to actually dig through that, it's not a great experience. So that is why it took quite a long time. But the bed is actually now quite complete. All that we've got to do now is plant it up, and we should get a lovely display of bulbs in the summer. Hope you enjoyed the experience of seeing us make that bed.